Jim, this next question sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from Chris Gurnett in North Tonawanda, New York.
That's got to be a fictitious location.
It's no secret that Bruce Pritchard is the biggest Vince McMahon butt kisser on the production side.
No, now wait a minute. Kevin Dunn is going to take exception to that.
Now, let's clarify this, because everyone's always talked about Bruce, and we all know the realities of Bruce, and the realities of that reality doesn't matter to Bruce. It's really, he just says whatever he thinks he should say in the moment. It's always been said that he is a magnificent ass kisser. I mean, hey, that's why he's there right now. Is Kevin Dunn the same thing? Is it the same kind of relationship with Kevin and Vince and Bruce and Vince in terms of the ass kissing? What do you think?
I think it's even more egregious with Kevin Dunn because he doesn't know nearly as much about the wrestling business as Bruce does. So he just tries to sit there, and he looks like a little Renfield sitting next to Vince. And I heard this story secondhand, but I trust the source, and it's indicative of Kevin Dunn that he always wants to say something to Vince to get Vince they want to share a laugh, or he wants to get Vince to give him a pat on the shoulder. They've had a moment, right? So he had heard Vince say that one of the girls, and this was years ago, but one of the girls needed some tits. So they're all on their big corporate plane they got after the big stock scam, and the girl's name comes up, and the way it was related to me is Kevin was sitting there rubbing his hands together and kind of snickering like Renfield would over a juicy fly or spider, and he said, "She needs to get some tits, doesn't she, Vince?" Like that, it's just. But he doesn't know that he will contribute nothing relating to wrestling because he still, after all these years, doesn't even realize they're in the wrestling business. But he'll always try to bond with Vince over some manly comment or some real sport that he can refer to, or something that he can get over with Vince by saying that he knows ahead of time Vince will agree with. If that makes any sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Back to this question here. Which wrestler do you think kissed Vince McMahon's ass the most? So not Bruce, not Kevin Dunn, not the officials or agents, but which wrestlers?
See, I don't, because I wasn't sitting in a room with every one of Vince's meetings with all the people that were kissing his ass. So I don't want to say that one particular wrestler was the biggest ass kisser when I didn't see every display of that was ever held. And most of the time when the guys are kissing Vince's ass, they're doing it in private. They don't want witnesses. They don't want to do it right out in front of enough people that everybody's going to, in the locker room, going to be saying, Jesus Christ, he was blowing Vince and tickling his taint and had his finger up his ass, whatever the fuck, right? So in the one-on-ones, or in the days of texting, they didn't have texting back in those days, thank fucking God. But I'm sure it's done more of a one-on-one or a private nature, which indicates that the biggest ass kissers are the ones that can get access to Vince, and then they perpetuate that ability to have access by continuing to kiss ass. But I'm not going to bury somebody that I don't even know whether they'd rank in the top 10 realistically, and it's been so many years.
So there was no one you saw there. I mean, when you were having all the problems with Shawn Michaels, would you consider him?
But see, here's the thing. That's a horrible way to ass kiss. But you don't kiss a guy's ass by making yourself his biggest pain in the ass in his life. That was the opposite of ass kissing. And that's why I never understood why he let those juvenile delinquents get away with everything they did. Because it was the opposite of ass kissing what they were doing. It was like, I'll give you a blowjob, but I've got sharp, naggly, gnarly teeth, and I'm going to rip your dick to shreds. Well, fuck, I'll just do without, thank you. That wasn't kiss-assing that most people that want their ass kissed would want to have perpetrated on them. I won't drop the belt. I won't show up. I'll start a riot in Little Rock because they're throwing shit. I'll fucking take my ball and go home, if I don't like what's going on. That's not kissing somebody's ass. He just let him get away with it.